I never thought that an artificial intelligence could predict something as complex as the future, but everything changed the day I heard about an experimental program, one that claimed it could anticipate decisions, paths, and outcomes before they occurred. It wasn't a public application or a school project. It was a hidden system developed by a group that preferred to remain anonymous. I tried it out of sheer curiosity, expecting to find a marketing trick or a well-crafted illusion. But from the very first moment, I understood that this was anything but simple. The interface was minimalist, almost unsettling, as if it didn't need to impress anyone. It simply displayed a direct question: what do you want to know about your future? I stared at the screen, unsure of what to write. I thought about putting something trivial, but doubt held me back. It seemed absurd, but I felt that the question was directed at a deeper part of me. In the end, I wrote something simple: where will I be in a year? The answer appeared without animations or pauses. A cold, direct text, written with a certainty that chilled my blood. It said I would be faced with a decision that would completely change my life. It didn't speak of success or failure, but of a path that would define everything that came after. I wanted to dismiss it as a generic prediction, but there was one detail that caught my attention. It mentioned a specific place I had never been to, a place that, according to the AI, would be the point where everything would unfold. In this second part, I delve into how this artificial intelligence became more than just a simple statistical algorithm. When researchers noticed that its predictions seemed to anticipate even decisions that individuals were not yet aware of, they began testing increasingly complex scenarios. They asked volunteers to imagine alternate routes for their lives, hypothetical paths they had never taken. The AI not only generated possible outcomes, but also indicated which. The scientists thought the model was interpreting subtle signals, internal traces that even the individuals themselves did not recognize. It was as if the system observed a hidden map made of micro-gestures, doubts, silences, and tiny patterns. What was astonishing was that, with just seconds of analysis, the AI anticipated drastic changes: resignations, relocations, breakups, or decisions that would alter the participants' entire lives. When the news leaked, the public reacted divided. Some wanted to use the technology to plan the best possible path, as if life were a board that could be optimized. Others feared that the AI would reveal uncomfortable truths about their destiny. And I, who was present during the tests, discovered something disturbing in my own predictions. The AI hinted at a turn that I dared not accept. For days, I reviewed the results, trying to convince myself it was a mistake, an exaggerated interpretation, but each simulation led to the same point. The AI claimed I would face a critical decision that I could not avoid, something that would redefine not only my career, but my entire identity. I tried to ignore it, but the thought grew within me like an insistent shadow. And as I watched the team improve the model, I realized that perhaps knowing the future was not an advantage, but a faint warning. I continued reviewing my results, trying to find a crack that would disprove that unsettling prediction. But the AI insisted with an almost disturbing precision. Every time I requested a different simulation, the model traced paths that ended up converging at the same decisive moment. It didn't matter how much I varied my habits, my supposed future choices, or even my emotions during the test. The algorithm found invisible internal patterns that directed me toward the same outcome. That idea began to affect me more than I wanted to admit. I found myself thinking about every gesture, every doubt, as if any movement could activate the fate that the AI had pointed out. One day, one of the researchers silently observed me and asked if everything was okay. I didn't know how to respond. How could I explain that I feared a future not yet lived? Still, I continued participating in the project, trying to understand whether the technology truly predicted the future or simply revealed what was already within me. It was then that the AI did something unexpected. It updated my prediction without anyone requesting it, as if it had detected a profound change within me. The new simulation didn't entirely match the previous ones. Something had varied, something I hadn't even noticed. That minimal difference sparked a question that would change my perception of the project. I began to wonder if the AI anticipated my decisions, or if, in some way, it influenced them. That doubt became a constant shadow that followed me everywhere, reminding me that perhaps I wasn't as free as I thought. I started analyzing my own thoughts, trying to discover what had changed. It was strange to feel that a system understood my future better than I did. However, something inside me rebelled, a small spark that said nothing was defined. The unexpected update of the prediction left me unsettled for days. I couldn't stop thinking about what exact change the AI had detected within me. Every time I tried to focus on something else, the idea returned like a persistent echo. I found myself examining my own thoughts with an invisible magnifying glass, searching for clues that would reveal that twist. It was then that the researchers offered me something none of the participants had received before: direct access to the interpretation module, an experimental tool that allowed me to observe how the AI processed personal variables in real time. I accepted without much thought, driven by a mix of curiosity and fear. Upon entering the room, I found a gigantic panel filled with dynamic lines, vibrant graphs moving like a breathing organism. Each movement seemed to respond to my emotions, my breaths, and my doubts. It was as if the AI was listening to me even without me saying a word. They activated the session, and a flood of data began to reconstruct my behavior over time. What I saw left me paralyzed. The AI not only analyzed my previous decisions, but also anticipated internal patterns that I had never recognized myself. There were tiny, almost invisible details that revealed a growing tension within me. However, the most surprising thing was when the system highlighted a specific point, an apparently insignificant moment, a brief conversation I had days before, something I thought I had completely forgotten. That instant, according to the AI, had altered my course in ways I still did not understand. I stared at that luminous mark, unsure of what to feel. How could something so small change so much? I felt a knot in my stomach upon discovering it. I left that room with the feeling that something profound had been revealed, even though I still did not understand its meaning. I walked down the hallway slowly, replaying the luminous mark that the AI had indicated as the turning point in my destiny. It was just a brief conversation, an almost forgotten exchange, but according to the system, it had reconfigured my internal patterns. That idea accompanied me as I returned to my room, reminding me how fragile the course of an entire life could be. The next day, I requested a new session. I wanted to see if that change was still active or if there were new variations. The researchers agreed, perhaps because they also wanted to understand how my case was evolving. As the reading began, the AI displayed an updated map, and, to my surprise, the turning point shone even more brightly. The system detected an emotional transition within me, something I couldn't even decipher myself. I watched as the prediction lines expanded in directions I had not seen before. They no longer converged rigidly into a single destiny. Now they opened like multiple branches, each with distinct nuances. One of the researchers explained to me that the AI could capture internal micro-decisions, impulses, doubts, perceptions that occurred before they even became conscious. It was as if the future began to form in the silence before a thought. That made me feel vulnerable, but also free. I understood that the change was not generated by the AI, but by my reaction to it. And then I saw it clearly. The prediction was no longer a sentence, but a mirror. A reflection of who I was and who I could be if I chose to confront my own patterns. For the first time since the project began, I felt that the future was not written.